Hi everyone, I'm Charles Ching. In this topic, I'll be introducing our latest solution, Access Analytics for UBS Payroll. Previously, we rolled out the same for UBS Accounting and Inventory and Billing. Straight to the point here. Here are our three good reasons why you would choose our solution to complement your UBS Payroll implementation. Having a system to track work permit and contract renewals and being vigilant in compliance matters should be your responsibility. The ability to have a handy way to remind you will be a great help for sure. Furthermore, as a HR professional, you should have key metrics always available. Now, our solution comes with a variety of such insights as part of our out-of-the-box experience to you. But as always, we understand that there's always a need to have the ability to create new insights and dashboard using data from UBS or even non-UBS data. That the other elephant in the room here is data access control. You want to ensure the right people see what you want them to see, especially when it comes to sensitive and confidential HR and payroll data. Using a cloud solution means the vendor that manages this has to be trusted and has to be able to run a secure service. Now, a significant amount of our revenue comes from cloud hosted services, so we do know a thing or two about cloud security. Last but not least, it has to be easy to use. Modern web application nowadays must be designed to be intuitive. Users do not have the time or inclination to spend days learning it. Now, later in the demo, you can see for yourself on this point. Now, you have been relying on reports to manage and report all matters related to payroll and HR. Now, if that is the case, it is time for you to consider something better. With our Access Analytics, you gain so much more, even if you have been using a tool such as Microsoft Excel for reporting. Back in 2020, we embarked on a journey to refresh the UBS product. If you have not experienced it yet, I suggest that you upgrade to the latest and turn on Modern View. Just a while ago, my colleague Lenny showcased the latest release of our UBS payroll. It sports not only a modern interface, but you can find many innovative changes that will make payroll run simple and error-free. And dare I say it, fun too. All of this lead to a more pleasant work environment and a better user experience. Now talk to us if you want to learn more. When you have Access Analytics for UBS Payroll installed, immediately, and I mean that, you get to take advantage of a number of informative insights about your company. There will be four dashboards altogether available with many insights in each of them. This slide here documents them. Not forgetting, we are also not locking up the application, which means you can use it to build in new data access, insights, and dashboards. With this, you fulfill your role as a HR professional and not just as an administrator. So let us now take a quick look at this solution. You are now looking at Access Workspace. I'm logged into a company as shown on the top left-hand corner here. I have Access Analytics exposed on my browser window, and if it is not, I can choose it from the 9-dot menu. Why 9-dot is because the icon has 9 dots. All the apps that your company has subscribed to will be listed in this drop-down list. I have already got Access Analytics running, so I can go back to that. And since I have dashboards being selected in the main menu and filtered to UBS Payroll, I get to see the four dashboards that I mentioned previously in my PowerPoint. I do not have time to go through all the dashboards, so I'm just going to focus on one of them called Leave Statistics. This Leave Statistic dashboard is where you will go and find all information related to leave, how they're consumed, they're taken, what are the balances, and so on. Let me quickly show you what it has. On the first chart here, it shows you by department the leave brought forward. Interesting. In the second chart, it shows you the leave taken every month for the whole company. The next two charts here will show you the leave balances and leave taken. Now, if I were to click on any of the bars here, the interesting thing is I can actually perform a drill down because sometimes it is important that I should be able to see for this department who are the ones with a lot of leave balances. So I can click on drill down and it will show me in a table form all the employees in that department. Now, if this display is too narrow, I can click on the toggle size and it will then switch to a full size view. I can see very clearly now by employee what are their leave balances. To go back, I go back and toggle size and then I will switch back by going on the back button. There is one chart that I think is in particular very interesting because it is different from the others. In this chart here, the bottom called employee leave balance, it appears to be the same one as the one that I shown you earlier, right? However, this is a combination chart. It not only show you the leave balance in terms of days, but it also show you the encashment value in the bar, right? So what we did is that we actually taken the leave balances by employee. We take their basic wage, we compute their per day cost for encashment, and we multiply that, and then we build a chart that shows you that if all these people in this department were to encash their leave, this is how much it's going to cost the company. But what is important here is that many companies actually accrue leave costs in their books. Now, because they are accrued, they obviously affect the ability for you to make use of some of the funds at any point in time, right? Hopefully, your idea here is all these accrued costs will all be gone to zero at the end of the year when all the leave have been consumed. But if they are not, then this cost may be used to pay back to the employees if they were to leave the company early and want to encash the leave. So this is very interesting because if you have such a need, this will be an important ability for you to have that visibility of the encashment value. Speak to your accountant if you're uncertain of what I'm trying to say here. I'm sure they'll be able to do a better job explaining that to you. Now, I do not have time to go through all the other charts here as well as all the dashboard, but you roughly get the idea, right? With this useful dashboard, now as a HR professional, you are going to get a lot of information at your fingertips. More importantly, you can also make this information shareable to your managers. What this means is that now they can take the corrective action if it's important to them without waiting for you to go and print out reports, analyze, and get the information to them at a later date. With this, I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint. Now that you have seen the product, I'm quite sure some of you must be wondering, how did we get your data into Analytics dashboard when it's located in your office network? Now, this slide is a high-level overview of the setup, so let me elaborate. The pictures on the left depicts your office setup. We connect to your data via a data loader component. Now, this performs the extraction at prescribed intervals. The data extract are stored in our cloud storage for use by the analytics engine. Mind you, the extraction only take required data and not your whole database. Now, this makes it very efficient. From this, you will see the connection only happen at specific times and usually during off hours. The default is Monday to Friday at 11 p.m. and you can change it. Now, I'm almost out of time, but cannot resist showing you how you can create a new insight. And I will show you how you can do this using an Excel file as an input. Now, I'm doing this because I see many users already are using Excel because UBS may not have all the data that you need for your reporting. To create a new insight using data from an Excel file, we first need to upload our Excel file into Access Workspace. To do that, we will make use of a component as Access Analytics called Data Engine. To do that, we go to the 9-dot menu and we will select Data Engine from it. But because I already have Data Engine running in the background, I will toggle to it. This is the Access Data Engine. Currently, I'm looking at a folder called Personal, and there's nothing in it. So I'm going to go and click on the Add New button to upload my Excel file. You can see here I have many choices, and some of them related to directly accessing data from my UBS system. But I won't be using any of that. Instead, I'll choose the Browse Your Computer hyperlink, and I go to the temporary folder where I have a file called performance.xls. I'm click open on it, and it will immediately process that request of mine. I can see what is inside that file by clicking on the preview. I can see that that file is very simple and straightforward. It has 3 columns: employee, performance, and engagement scores. So all I go do is just click next, and the system will now begin to upload the data into Access Workspace. So it's already done. So now I can go back to my Access Analytics to paint my insight. All right, so I'm now back to my Access Analytics. Now I'm going to go to my menu again. I'm going to choose Insights from the menu. And what I do is that then click on the Add button, and I will scroll to look for my Performance XLS file as my data source. So scroll down to look for Performance. There you go, Performance. Click on the Create New Insight. Now it brings me to the new insight creations screen. I have a choice of a lot of chart types. I can also choose to create matrix if I want to, and I can also create tables. So for this particular example, I'm going to make use of a chart called scatter chart. I'm going to select that, and in the configuration screen for a scatter chart, on the left hand side, I will just enter the group by as an employee, and I will choose the engagement and performance scores. As you can see, as soon as I have selected them, my chart has already been plotted on my right hand side. But I'm going to do a little bit extra to it before I save it, right? So I'm going to go to the settings option, and I'm going to label, and I'm going to turn on labels. As soon as I turn on labels, you can see the values of each of this plot will be displayed. If I hover my mouse over the dots itself, I can actually see the employee name and their scores. What I need also to do is give a title to this chart. So I'm going to call it employee performance. All right, and I also want to go back to the option for scatter, and I want to change the size of the dot to a bit larger than 10 point size. So I'm going to put it at 20. Now all I have to do is just save it by giving it a name. I'm going to call it Demo Insight, and I'll click Save and Close. Done. So I actually have a new insight created called Demo Insight. Now all I have to do is just go to Dashboard and add that new insight into a dashboard of mine. Now I'm not going to make a mess of my existing dashboard, so I'm going to create a new dashboard just to be able to put this insight there. So I'm going to scroll down and look for the insight called performance. Let me see, where is it? There you go. So just drag and drop and reposition it. You could actually choose any of the available insight that you see on the left hand side and place it. It doesn't matter whether the insights are coming from different data sources. Now, of course, in your system, you may not see the same number of insights that you see on my screen here, simply because this is a demonstration system. I've created a lot of additional insights that I use to demonstrate the software. So in your case here, if you have only a UBS payroll, then you only get to see the UBS payroll insights. Or if you have accounting, inventory, billing, you see those as well, right? So you can mix and match insights from different places to put into a dashboard. Now you can all you do is just give it a name, right, and save it. And once you've done that, you can actually go to the securities feature to actually assign this dashboard to a person or persons or a group of people, right? And when they log in, they'll get to see exactly what you have presented to them. With that, I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint. Finally, let us quickly touch on how you can get on board this fantastic tool. The process is simple and straightforward. Getting to use it takes minutes from signing up to the first login. However, in the practical world, there are some effort and time needed to make some of these arrangements. And here's the journey that you will take. First of all, when you sign up, we will provision you on Access Workspace. The customer service then will contact you and make arrangement for the data loader to be installed on your system. And then they will also provide you with a starter training at the same time. You will then, after that, onboard your people that is required to have access to those dashboards of yours. We have come to the end of this topic, but I just want to request that you assist us to do better by completing our event survey later. And if you wish to get to know more, you can also click on the request for discussion or demo in the survey screen. Thank you and have a nice day.